Hello, you are welcome back to my channel. This is Network. My name is Cyrus, and I'm so excited to have you here. Today is the day the Lord has made, and I'm happy to come your way again. In today's episode, we are looking at a very controversial topic. It is about the increasing level of prostitution in Africa. You see, Africa is the second largest continent in terms of population. We have about 1.4 billion people with a 50-50 ratio of males to female. However, there is a huge problem brewing in Africa. It's about what our constitutions has allowed. It's about what our women are selling, and it's about what our men are buying. Ladies and gentlemen, for a continent that is widely polygamous and religious, it is disturbing to see the number of our women who are ending up becoming prostitutes, what is locally called as ASHAWO in the western part of Africa. And the number isn't small. For your information, ASHAWO is a Nigerian term that refers to prostitution. It used to be called tu in Ghana before the Nigerian version became very popular. It is also called isifebe in Zulu. I hope I'm getting my Zulu right. So let's hear from you, from anywhere you live in Africa. What is the local name given to prostitution in your local language? Now, have you ever seen this map? This map shows the prostitution status as allowed by our constitutions in Africa. Take a look at them. So there are 5 major colors on this map. The first one is the color cyan, and it's for that small country in the top left of Africa, Guinea-Bissau. Now, what does the color cyan stand for on the map? It is for decriminalization, meaning no criminal penalties for prostitution in Guinea-Bissau. Does it also mean you can sell and buy and engage in the business of prostitution without any penalties? I suppose so. But is that an ideal situation for a country? I don't know. Now, the second color is green, which stands for countries like Eritrea, Senegal, and Tunisia. But what does the green actually represent? It represents prostitution is legal and regulated. So in these 3 countries, prostitution is actually legal. You can sell, you can buy, and it's regulated, meaning the government has made laws to incorporate all of that into their books. Wow. Really? The blue color on the map, which is pretty dominant, which covers countries like the DRC, Zambia, Malawi, Botswana, and co. This is what it actually stands for. That prostitution is legal, but organized activities such as brothels and pimping are illegal. Prostitution is not regulated. So you cannot have a house where prostitutes come in and sell themselves for money. But prostitution in itself, as in a street corner, is permitted, but their laws doesn't regulate them. Now, how does it work for these countries? So let's move on to the most dominant color on the map of Africa, which is red, which covers countries such as Ghana, South Africa, Cameroon, and so on. Now, what does it actually stand for in terms of the red color? It means prostitution is illegal. Selling, buying, brothels, whatever it is, it's illegal. That is what we have in Ghana. What do you have in your home country? Finally, 2 countries are in the dark gray color. That is Nigeria and Kenya. But what does that color actually stand for? It stands for legality varies with local laws. That means in certain states in Nigeria and Kenya, prostitution is legalized, whereas other states is criminalized. Now, how does that work in a country? Does it mean I can take a bus and go to the next state that is allowed and engage in that business and then come back to my state where it's not allowed and live like nothing really happened? How does that work? If you live in Kenya, if you live in Nigeria, I would like to hear your mind on this. How does it work in your country? Now, let's calm down and ask the important questions. Why this situation in Africa? Why is prostitution growing in Africa? And the numbers, ladies and gentlemen, is not small. This is the reason why in my research, I had to pause and actually read into it before I do this. What has been the main causes of prostitution in Africa? I know you have ideas as to the causes, and I formed my own ideas as a result of the research I'm doing. And I need you to tell me this, whether my opinions are solid contributing factors as to the causes of prostitution in Africa or they are not the root causes. I need you to tell me this. My first opinion is this, is that young girls are forced into marriages and prostitutions. And I can say this because there are several times in Accra, the capital of Ghana, where a lot of prostitutes have been found, and their reason was their parents married them off to an old person for some tribal reason or some religious reason, and then they escaped and ran to the capital city. And it's not just Ghanaians. These are girls from many parts of West Africa who come all the way here and engage in such an activity. And this situation hasn't stopped because the girls keep coming. They want to be girls. They want to be young girls and grow up and have ideas and plans for their lives. They want to have a career. They want to grow up and decide who they want to marry. But when you have single parents who are living very difficult life with their families and chooses to use some of their daughters as cash cows to bring in income, it becomes a problem. And this is not stopping. All over the place, you find girls who have been married off to older men, girls who want to go to school, girls for tribal reasons have to be married off to somebody they are not interested in. As a matter of fact, they are so young, they don't even have that on their mind. They want to play, they want to have fun, they want to take their time and grow up. And then they are thrown into this. That is not right, but I've seen it in West Africa. I don't know about Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Northern Africa. If you know about it, please do me a favor. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Try to describe it to us how the situation is like in your home country. My second opinion is unemployment and a lack of further education for the teenage girl are some of the root causes to prostitution in Africa. I mean, it's true that the devil finds job for the idle hands. The father is jobless, and so there is no income in the house. The young girl is growing. She's seen all the other female friends or colleagues who are developing and having all these fancy toys, their iPhones, their computers, all these cars they are driving around. I mean, these are things young girls are yearning for today. And so when they don't have access to them and they cannot go to school and there is no money in the house to buy them clothing, not a bag, not a shoe, not a perfume on their body, it sort of disturbs them. And now they are looking at ways and means to get that resource. And where do they get it from? They sell their bodies to make that money. She starts by flirting around and seeking men's attention, not just because of their attention, but the resources that can come with that. And then slowly she walks her way into the business, and that is it. She now finds this as the easiest way to get money, to get resources to do what she wants to do. And that becomes a new lifestyle for her. I mean, these are the issues in Africa. Lack of employment for our people. The men are in the house, no jobs, no income, no salary, nothing. This cycle, if not deliberately broken, continues off into the next generation and into the next generation, and this becomes a real problem as we have it now in Africa. Now, my third opinion on some of the root causes of prostitution in Africa is the breakdown of the family unit. The moment the father and the mother divorces, every form of vice in the family is now possible. There is no control, no supervision, no provision, especially if the young girl lives with a mother who is jobless. And this thing becomes another problem in society. We see it every day. We know these problems. And it's continuing. And surprisingly, some of these women will still divorce for all manner of crazy reasons that you can't even wrap your head around without thinking about the children. The children, they don't even think about them. It's just about what they have decided to do, and they go ahead, they execute it, and everybody else will have to suffer as a result of that one decision. Prostitution has destroyed many lives. It comes with abortion, spread of diseases, loss of self-esteem, fatherless children who are more likely to become criminals in society according to statistics. If you come to Accra today in the evening, you find all manner of beautiful young ladies strolling on the streets as prostitutes. And I know similar things are happening around Africa, selling off their bodies, both from within the country and outside of the country, speaking all manner of languages, and it's shocking the number keeps increasing. And it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. But in coming close to my conclusion, this is what I'll say. Life in itself is tough. And it's even tougher for a young girl who is now coming up, especially for those without any form of family support. And it's easy to sell your body to make ends meet, to take care of yourself, and to move ahead in life. But I'll also tell you this. The beginning of anything is not as important as the end. Family may have given up on you. Society may have rejected you. Everything is working against you. But I'll tell you this. God knows you want all these things. He knows you want an iPhone and a bag, and you want a car and a nice place to live. God knows you want all these things. But everybody's route is not the same. For some tree plants like maize, it takes us about 3 months for it to mature and bear fruits. But for other trees like mango, it takes a lot more time to bear fruit. But when it begins to bear fruit at maturity, it lasts for a long time. So the beginning is not as important as the ending. Your life may be very hard today, but I can promise you it will not always be hard. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. I'll say this to you in conclusion. It's in 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 10. And this is what it says. But the God of all grace, who has called us unto his eternal glory by Christ Jesus, after that you have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. God will definitely settle you if you are faithful, if you are careful, if you keep his word, if you don't prostitute yourself, even though you are hungry, even though you are thirsty, even though you cannot find a decent place to stay. God watches over you and he has plans for you. Don't give up on yourself. Don't prostitute yourself. It is an easy way out. Don't take that. There is a long way you can take. It is painful, but the reward is so soothing. The reward is the best, and I can promise you, I've been through that road, and I can tell you for a fact that after you have come out of it, you will thank God you went on that road. Thank you so much for being a part of my channel. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment if you have to. Until I come your way again, God bless you, and it's bye-bye for now.